right, so the last video is just opening up the pigs and getting them ready. I don't doubt that there are some folks that get a little unnerved having this pig staring at them. So honestly, I have a lot of students in lab that like to go ahead and just take a paper towel and cover the face of the pig. Sometimes that makes him feel a little bit better. So I'm just gonna do that in case. It'll fall off later, but it'll be fun. Now, I'll have Miss Cindy is recording for us, so we're grateful to have her do this. If she could just come on up here, Cindy. And what I'm looking at, one side of the poster shows the innards of the pig, and then we've got showing how to dissect whether it's a male versus a female. So this actually does matter. Now what you can see is it's looking at the male versus the female. I'm gonna show you what it means as far as looking at this papilla versus looking at an actual scrotum, which the scrotum on a pig is just way different. So she can go ahead and look a little bit closer here. I'm gonna put our pigs, yep, that towel came right off, it's okay. Oops. All right, so if you just go ahead and hold their back feet, your pig's back feet, and you lift that tail, what you'll notice is, notice this little hangy thingy, and it's not a hangy thingy, it's an actual papilla. This is a female pig, okay? There's nothing else back here as far as other structures that I'll show you on the male is different. So this little thingy right here, that is her genital papilla, so that means it's a female. You notice that the anus is right there, which we have a little bit of discharge going on there, but that means this is a female, and you'll cut her different than you will the male. So we lift the tail on this one. What you'll notice on this one, even though he's darker, it doesn't matter, like the color doesn't matter, but you'll notice that he actually has a scrotum back here. So this thing right here that my fingers are on, that is the scrotum. So if you have a male, you will have to identify the scrotum itself. So if it were me, don't poke yourselves, like that is, that right there is the scrotum. So sitting them side by side, you can see the difference between female versus male. Now, I'm gonna have Cindy continue to record for us. I'm gonna tie the pigs down. You are gonna have to do that. Sometimes they need a little encouragement. Sometimes you need to play a little bit of loud music just so that you don't have to listen to things. I'm gonna kind of spread her out just a little bit here, and we'll use the rubber bands on this one. What I tend to do is wrap her a little bit tighter with the rubber band, I'm thinking. And some of the other instructors are probably gonna get mad at me because they use the rubber bands. I just never use the rubber bands that much. So I guess it's supposed to hang like that. You'll be all right. I'll show you everything you need to see, guys. I'm just wrapping it around a couple of times. What you can do is go underneath the tray, but I don't think these trays are strong enough. I mean, I'll try, but we'll see. I'm used to our dissection trays, so I guess I'm a little spoiled. I stretch that around one side harder than the other. Do that. Maybe that. I hope you guys aren't laughing at me at home. I think I'm gonna have to go around the tray. You can see she's already touching me, that's why. We need the apron. All right, hey, that works. Let's take the other one around it. Hey, there you go. She's strong. All right, so that's one. And then we have the other one. This is one I'm a little more used to. You can either, and again, you only have one anyway, so. You know what? I'm gonna set him to the side because I don't want to kill your time on this video. So I'm gonna sit down. Cindy, are you okay? Okay. I'm gonna set him to the side for a minute, guys. And I'm just gonna show you how to cut her. Now, on your poster here, it actually shows you if you have a male versus a female. And usually they're different colors, so I don't know why the heck they did that. But I'll just show you. I'll just show you how to do this. It's okay. So what I like to do, this is the umbilicus. Okay, so this is a fetal pig. And I guess we can go ahead and cover if you like. You can feel the rib cage in here and where kind of the ribs kind of extend. So I like to feel for that. When I do my initial cut, I will lift the umbilicus. It kind of lifts it up and away from the internal structures. And I'm very, very careful because there's the umbilical vein is going to be just inside this. So I don't want to cut too deep. Always cut away from yourself if possible and away from you. I just need to get through the abdominal area here. So don't go crazy on this. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's good. That's good. So you can see I just opened up the abdominal cavity. Then I'm gonna go ahead and feel for the xiphoid process on the pig, right where at the bottom of the sternum there. And I'm gonna cut straight up towards it. Now don't go all the way through. Don't like cut straight down, and do not cut your fingers here. But just cut layer at a time to open things up here. And I cut all the way up to that xiphoid process. Then I'm gonna cut down along the rib line. Again, keep your fingers out of the way. Feel for those ribs. It's hard to cut through ribs. You don't wanna do that. Okay, so and there's some more extra fluid in there. Just let it fall into the tray. That's what it's there for. Do the same thing on this side. You can cut all the way down if you want to. Now, for cutting here, if you'll notice, they actually make a little like cut around the umbilicus. So we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna cut on this side. Don't cut too deep at first. Little by little is good. And then we'll do it on the other side. We're basically keeping some other internal structures intact when we do this. And I'll show you what we mean by that. Cindy, can you see okay? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're unsure, you can take your scissors at this point because you don't want to cut the internal contents here. So you can always pull it up and away from the intestines and cut that way. That would be fine as well. That keeps you from cutting too deep. I'm a little scalpel handy or happy. Honestly, I don't like using scissors that way. All right, then it shows you that you can make 2 more incisions on either side. And really that just kind of opens it up for you to, you don't want to cut things. You want to make sure you're not cutting this stuff. We kind of cut along that inguinal region. It also helps to kind of like that fluid to get out of there. I'll do the same thing on the other side. And so for this first image set that you want, because this video is getting a little long, I hope this helps you see what you're supposed to be looking at. This first image set that you need to be looking at, so you take your picture with your piggy, this, and I want to make sure, pin the umbilicus, okay, So that would be the first pin. And the umbilical vein, look, this was going to mom and the placenta. This vessel connects the umbilical vein or the umbilical cord to, it looks, it's running right to the liver, just like we talked about week 3. You see the inside of that mess? Now, you know that that thing's gonna be actually connecting to a bypass in the liver, but this stringy structure right here is the umbilical vein. So right underneath my fingers. Again, it connects the umbilicus to what looks like the liver. So that is your first 2 structures. Don't forget to label your pins.